Morning, everyone, on this Monday of the third week of Easter, and a glorious day again, beautiful sunshine out there. We're continuing our reading during this Easter season with the first readings from the book of Acts. And here we are in chapter 6, verses 8 through 15. Stephen, filled with grace and power, was working great wonders and signs among the people. Certain members of the so-called synagogue of freemen, Cyrenians and Alexandrians, and people from Cilicia and Asia came forward and debated with Stephen, but they could not withstand the wisdom and the spirit with which he spoke. Then they instigated some men to say, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and God." They stirred up the people, the elders, and the scribes, and accosted him, seized him, and brought him before the Sanhedrin. They presented false witnesses who testified, "This man never stopped saying things against this holy place and the law. For we have heard him claim that this Jesus, the Nazarene, will destroy this place and change the customs that Moses handed on down to us." All those who sat in the Sanhedrin looked intently at him and saw that his face was like the face of an angel. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, we're reading the continuing Acts. It's called the Acts of the Apostles, but it's actually more than just the apostles. It's the whole community of those who put their trust in the resurrected Lord and what goes on in their lives. And so we have, just previous to this point, some men who are appointed and anointed as deacons for the church there in Jerusalem, particularly for those who were called the Greek-speaking Jews. Now, probably everyone in Jerusalem who was Jewish knew Greek. So when they say that, it probably emphasizes those who had come from other areas and settled in Jerusalem. They were part of the diaspora and then made their way back to home, as it were, in Jerusalem. And so that's what distinguished them as Greek-speaking. So Stephen was part of this one that ministered specifically to those folks who were Jewish people who came from the diaspora Greek-speaking areas. And being of that, there was conflict with other Jewish people who were of that same life of being of Greek speaking from these other areas, and in particular a so-called synagogue. In other words, the synagogue had its own name, but it was noted as the synagogue of freemen. And that probably meant that at one point in time, either these people or their descendants were under enslavement by the Roman government somewhere out there in the empire, and were now free, and they were now living in Jerusalem. And so these folks felt threatened by this gospel message. They had undergone persecution on their own part against the Roman government, and now they feel like there's this alien message that is being promoted in here. And so opposition was developed between this so-called synagogue and Stephen, who was part of the people who came to know Jesus Christ as the Messiah. At any rate, accusations were levied against Stephen, and he was brought before the Sanhedrin. Now, the big points that was here was that they're accusing him of blasphemous words against Moses. Now, what would that be? Well, that Jesus is greater than Moses, which he is. Blasphemous words against God. Well, Jesus is God. He is the second person of the Trinity. So you could see how there would be confusion on parts of people, so they immediately assume it as blasphemy of what was the teachings that they had been handed down to them. And they continue to say, this man never stops saying things against this holy place, meaning probably the temple. Jesus had said some words, destroy this temple, in 3 days I'll raise it up. Well, he was talking about his body as the temple, a living temple. So you could see where confusion, not understanding all the whole part of what it was there. And the law. Jesus fulfills the law. Jesus made it quite clear. I didn't come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. Not a single jot or tittle, not any little mark that you put on the law was to be destroyed. But it would be confusing to folks. So at any rate, there is this accusation that is levied against Stephen, one of these deacons there, and he is there in the Sanhedrin. And all eyes are on him, and it is described as a face like the face of an angel. Now, what would the face like an angel be? Would it be stern? Probably not. Would it just be lackadaisical and just nothing? No, not that either. I would say the face of an angel would be one that is at peace. The peace of the Lord, which surpasses all understanding, was guarding the heart of Stephen. Whatever was happening, all these accusations, in the midst of the storm of all this, he was at peace. He was like the face of an angel. Oh, that we would all have a face like an angel. It's not always so easy to have, is it? But that's something that we get when we're in tune and in touch with the Lord. And do we need the Lord every single day of the week? Let's turn to the Lord. Let's be the face of the angel to others around us. Hopefully we see each other soon. Bye for now.